You know, I'm acclimated to this stuff down here. It doesn't bother me much, but it's warm, isn't it?
It is.
You know what I'm gonna do here? Bill, put all
Put the props
my
on.
extra.
There you go.
Instead of taking them out of my pocket.
You ready?
Yeah, there we go.
Get everybody in tight. Scoot on in. Very good.
We're doing all right?
We're doing very well.
Ready?
Ready when you are.
I'm Philip Nelson, President of the Illinois Farm Bureau, and I want to welcome you to this occasion where we're going to concentrate on showing the rest of the people around this state and this country the travesty that we're experiencing in production agriculture here in Illinois. I'd also like to thank the Katoski families and the Laird families for hosting this event. And this is just a glimpse of what we're hearing from our producers across this state. A couple weeks ago, we were down in this part of the state and we saw how the corn crop was going in reverse condition, and since then they've received very little rain. It has continued to deteriorate. And most of you know that Illinois produces roughly 20% of this nation's corn crop, about 15% of this nation's soybean crop. So we're all very concerned at what will happen in the next couple weeks, hoping and praying for rain to turn around this situation. As we've had members and producers contact us, we recognize the capital investment that we have in production agriculture today. This was the most expensive corn crop and soybean crop to put in the ground. And as I told the governor, one thing that we experienced this spring was a remarkable spring in getting corn and soybean plantings in the ground at a record pace. We were set out to raise what we thought was probably the largest corn crop in the history of American agriculture, and yet now we're in a challenge of looking in some cases at no crop in this state to a half a crop as we travel around the state of Illinois. And another thing that we consider very important along with this, as we're experiencing a drought, we're also experiencing a lap in policy as the 2008 Farm Bill is ready to expire. We're urging Congress to get the new Farm Bill passed because one of the key elements in that Farm Bill is crop insurance. Producers today use crop insurance to try to protect themselves against some of the risks that they cannot control, primarily Mother Nature, and you're seeing today the results of that. So with that, we compliment the Director of Ag, Bob Fleiter, has been working very closely with us in trying to see what we can do as a state in trying to address the needs of producers. And today, we compliment the governor for taking time out of his busy schedule to be a part of this, to focus on what we can do in this state in trying to address this dire situation that we're seeing in production agriculture. Without further ado, please help me welcome the governor of the state of Illinois, Pat Quinn. Governor.
Okay, thank you, Phil. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, here I am in our state of Illinois and the southern part of our state, and I want to say to the people of southern Illinois, over the last couple of years, we've been through a whole lot. Right after I got sworn in, there was an ice storm that took out power for 8 days, and the people survived because we banded together and worked together to get through a very tough time. Not long thereafter, believe it or not, we had a horizontal hurricane right here in southern Illinois, and it was a very serious matter that affected a lot of folks. Again, we lost power, but people came together and worked together for the common good. And then not long after that, we had a terrible flood that affected many, many people in all parts of southern Illinois, along the Mississippi River, along the Ohio River. But we never gave up. We believed in each other. We came together and worked together to get through a very, very tough time. And as everyone knows, earlier this year, we had a killer tornado come through our state. People of Harrisburg and Ridgeway took a terrible hit, but they never, ever succumbed. They understood that even after these natural disasters, whether it be a tornado or an ice storm or a horizontal hurricane or a flood, the people of Illinois, every part of our state, are good and true. and we come together and help our neighbor. And now we're looking at a drought, a terrible drought. This is the driest time that we've ever had in our state of Illinois, the hottest weather. We've never had it this hot. And we've got to come together and help our neighbor, because Illinois, we're a mighty agricultural state. We are the heart of the heartland. We feed our country. We feed our world. And we're very, very grateful to our farmers who are here. I want to thank Donnie Laird, who took me over here today in his pickup truck. And I want to thank Mr. Katowski, who has several generations of his family farming this land. His grandson is with us here today. And we want to make sure that agriculture in Illinois lasts for generations and generations. And that's what our Farm Bureau is all about. I was with our Farm Bureau last week. We had an Export Advisory Council meeting. The Illinois Farm Bureau and our farmers are our number one exporters. We're not only feeding the United States, but we're feeding the world. Many other countries depend on our corn and our soybeans. And it's so important with our corn, because we took a look at some of the corn, some of the fields of the corn right now when we were coming over, and you can see firsthand how depleted, how serious this matter is, this drought. Mr. Katowski told me the last time it rained was June 11th. June 11th, 0.6 of 1 inch. No rain since. Now, I do believe in the power of prayer. And I do believe that all of us, when we come together in a serious time like this, a crisis, a natural disaster of, frankly, epic proportions for our Illinois farmers, not only here, but south of here and north of here, our whole state really is affected. Now, we've had, thanks to the great work by the Secretary of Agriculture, a declaration of disaster for many counties in Illinois already. And today, more counties have been declared disaster areas under the federal law. And I'm going to mention those counties here. This is the map. We have today Champaign County, Morgan and Greene County, Bond, Washington, and Monroe County, and Stevenson County have all been sent by Washington. We've sent a letter to them declaring these disaster areas. And what that means is for 8 weeks or more, we've had 30% or more of our corn crop under severe heat conditions. And we are eligible for federal help. And as was just mentioned by Phil Nelson of the Farm Bureau, we want Congress, especially the House of Representatives in Washington, to take this crisis seriously. I talked this morning to Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack, and he pleaded with me to plead with the Congress, the House of Representatives, to take immediate action to pass the federal agricultural farm bill for the coming 5 years. We cannot delay and run in place. This is the heart and soul of the Illinois economy. 40% of our economy depends on our agriculture, on our corn and our soybeans, and our livestock. Our livestock right now is in serious peril because the ponds are drying up, and we may not have enough water for them and for those who depend on clean water. And we must take action in Washington to expedite and accelerate the bill that came out of the House of Representatives Agricultural Committee last week. And as governor of Illinois, I intend to plead with our representatives from Illinois that are sent to Washington to make sure that they talk to the leadership, the Speaker of the House, to move this bill forward on an accelerated basis. We did it for the transportation bill. We can do it for the agriculture bill, because agriculture is really, when all is said and done, the key part of the Illinois economy. It is the part that feeds us all. And we have to be grateful to all of our farmers and the generations of farmers who have come together and worked together for all of us. We can never take them for granted when they need a helping hand. We've never seen a drought like this, and we got to make sure we do things about it. And with respect to the help from Washington, a number of our counties are going to be eligible for a variety of different federal programs. They're eligible under the Federal Disaster Declaration, but we also brought today our cabinet that deals with these serious issues. Our Drought Relief Task Force, that is headed by our Director of Natural Resources, Mark Miller. He's here today. the federal disaster declaration, but we also brought today our cabinet that deals with these serious issues. Our drought relief task force that is headed by our Director of Natural Resources, Mark Miller. He's here today. The federal disaster declaration, but we also brought today our cabinet that deals with these serious issues. Our drought relief task force that is headed by our Director of Natural Resources, Mark Miller. He's here today.